Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Grover Reads the News. I hope your coffee's hot, your tea just right. Today is March 18th, 2025, and I have a news update for you. Would you like to hear it? If so, listen on. If not, I'll offer again soon. Before we start with the news, I want to share that I'm gonna feature some local news in a couple of upcoming episodes. Do you have news to share from your community? Hard to hear or joyous, inspiring or worrisome, we want to know what's going on. Are new homes for people who really need them finally being built in your town after a long fight? Did some group of jerks try to ban books, but then your community voted them off the library board? Are federal cuts creating widespread unemployment in your community? Did a cow get loose and come to school one day? I want to hear about it. To submit, email a screenshot, PDF, or a link that is not behind a paywall to groverreadsthenews@substack.com. And with that, let's hear the news. First up, we have U.S. news about storm destruction. A massive storm system tore through the South and Midwest on Monday and took the form of tornadoes, wildfires, and dust storms. At least 42 people died across 8 states. The storms destroyed homes and infrastructure and took lives in Alabama, North Carolina, Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, and Louisiana. Next, we have U.S. news about the executive office, including civil liberties, deportation, and the Department of Government Efficiency. On Friday, Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which grants the President of the United States sweeping powers to order the detention and deportation of natives or citizens of a, quote, enemy nation, unquote, without following the usual processes. By Saturday, the administration had used that power to deport hundreds of immigrants to El Salvador, including alleged members of a Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, reports Vox. A federal judge ordered the deportations paused amidst lawsuits from civil liberty groups, but the administration sent the people on flights to El Salvador anyway. The last time the Alien Enemies Act was used was during World War II, when more than 100,000 Japanese Americans, as well as some German and Italian Americans, including children, families, and elders, were imprisoned without trial and sent to internment camps, where almost 2,000 people died. People lost their homes, their property. The legacy of this state violence still emanates today. Next, we have news of a leader in D.C. not complying in advance to the administration's overreach. The U.S. Institute of Peace's employees called the D.C. Metropolitan Police to report that Doge had broken into their building. Employees of Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency entered the U.S. Institute of Peace despite protests from the nonprofit and their CEO, George Moose. The U.S. Institute of Peace is not part of the executive branch and is instead an independent agency. The U.S. Institute of Peace is a congressionally funded, independent nonprofit that works to advance conflict resolution, ending wars, and promoting good governance. Moose said the organization had been in talks with the D.C. police ever since Trump issued the executive order on February 19th, stressing that the headquarters are part of a private building with the same rights as any other private building owner. Quote, "The employees of our building are not federal employees, executive branch employees," Moose said. "They are employees of the Institute. We have our own separate board. We have our own bypass authority to go directly to Congress in order to get our money. Somehow all those arguments have not prevailed," unquote. When the police arrived, they held the door open for Doge and came back later with picks to help break open locks, reports CNN. Upon entry, Doge fired most members of the Institute's board, leaving only Trump appointees, who then fired the CEO. Moose vowed legal action, saying that What has happened here today is an illegal takeover by elements of the executive branch of a private nonprofit. Next, we have international news about Gaza, Yemen, the US, and Israel. Last night, Israel broke the Gaza ceasefire agreement, bombing Gaza early Tuesday morning, killing over 410 people and injuring hundreds more, according to Gaza health officials. The strikes are the most intense violence since a ceasefire began in January between Israel and Hamas. The first phase of the ceasefire ended on March 1st. NPR reports that the second phase of the ceasefire deal was supposed to include a total withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza and a permanent end to the war. Instead, Israel wanted an extension of the first phase, where Hamas would return half the living hostages still being held in Gaza. Hamas responded by saying it held up its end of the first phase and wanted to start second phase talks. Since Saturday, the United States has bombed dozens of sites in Yemen, killing dozens of people. The airstrikes came after the Houthi rebels threatened to resume attacks on Israeli-linked ships in the Red Sea in response to Israel's ongoing blockade of the Gaza Strip, reports Democracy Now! And finally, we have nature news about anti-trafficking rats. Experts in Morogoro, Tanzania, think they've found a key ally in combating the illegal trafficking of wildlife. Rats have long been misunderstood, often seen as pets rather than pals, reports Mongbe. However, the African giant pouched rat, the largest in the world, possesses special qualities that have caught the attention of a group of scientists in Tanzania. 3 qualities of these great little animals stand out for the job: their sense of smell, their small size, and their intelligence. The team is focused on stopping the smuggling of pangolin, rhino, elephant ivory, and black African root. Rats can remember how rhino, pangolins, and ivory smell. The team teaches rats to pull down the bell that they attach to their neck when they have found something. There is a very cool video that I have linked in the show notes where you can learn more from the research team and the rats. Thanks for joining me to face the news today. I hope the path of your transit through the world today is safe, whether you're driving across the snowy highway or rolling down the hall. And don't forget to send your local news update to potentially be shared on an upcoming episode. Email a screenshot, PDF, or link that is not behind a paywall to groverreadsthenews@substack.com. The news can be hard to face, but we don't have to do it alone. We can do it together. Until next time, be well.